page 3. And I'm going to read, the heading says, Kelly Khumalo, paragraph 5. During my analysis, I identified the following numbers which belongs to Kelly Khumalo. Gives the ID number, which I'm not going to read in record, which I can prove via links with family, friends, XDS, expert decision systems, central database, in brackets, reference, police crime administration system, e-NATIS, and Truecaller. And the following extraction out of the XDS to trace the following numbers of Kelly Khumalo. The first one that is mentioned is 2779-494-8773, and the date next to it is 2018-05-07. Do you see that?
Yes.
And then he goes on to say, used as contact number as per Rosebank case 1 of 06-2007, that was an offense of theft, general victim. Right? The second one listed is 2773-3885-730, and the date next to it is 2017-05-03. You see that?
86.
Sorry?
It's 86, not 85.
Oh, 86, I'm sorry. Yes, thanks for the correction. And then the next one is 2761-1456-2104. The date next to it is 2017-04-08. And we move on to page 4. A landline is listed, and I might just well read it onto record. It's 2711-883-1447. The date listed next to it is 2017-03-28. And the next one is 2772-938-2498. This is the number for which the section 205 was obtained, correct? And another landline is mentioned. The number is 2711-413-1179, and the date next to it is 2015-01-28. You see that?
Yes.
And the next cell number is 2773-451-5017. The date next to it is 2012-08-27. And then lastly, the number also for which the 205 was obtained is 2782-704-4358. Right. Now, in your evidence, and I was just asking my learned colleagues to assist me with the relevant exhibit, where you obtained the section 15.4 in terms of the RICA Act, the case IDs and the numbers that you obtained in relation to that, together with the section 205 request by Captain Goldstraw, right? All of these numbers that I've mentioned, especially the cell phone numbers, did you obtain the section 205s thereof? We know that only two, the 2498 and the 4358, the rest of the cell numbers, in terms of the request, were the 205s ever obtained?
To be quite honest, offhand, I cannot tell you because there were a number of Section 205 subpoenas requested for this case.
Yes.
What I can tell you is that off the cuff, we will not have data for the 011 numbers.
Yes.
And any other number that is not serviced by Vodacom, we will not have data for that.
Kulezi nomboro lezi ebemtshela ngazo lasebuzwa ukuthi ngabe wawuthole isicelo ukuya ngalo mthetho we-205 ukuthi ungazithola ukuthi nazo ukuthi yena cha ukusukela esandleni njena angeke ngikhone ukukutshela ngenxa yokuthi sathola isicelo soyinombolo eziningi kanti lama amanye amanombolo okufana nawo lawo kungasawa kaVodacom sasingeke sikhone ukuthi siwa lokhu siwa penye wona.
Okay, now I know it may sound speculative. If you can answer me. Of the calf, barring number porting to another service provider, the 2779 will, if it starts with 2779, will it be a Vodacom number or another service provider?
It could be Vodacom,
Yes.
it could have been ported out of
Okay,
Vodacom.
all right.
Kusho ukuthi yena kule nombolo lephelela nge-2779
And also
kungabonakala ukuthi ingaba yakaVodacom noma ayona yakaVodacom.
and then similarly with the number 277072, it could be a Vodacom number, barring that it may also be ported to another service provider, correct?
Exactly.
nayo lena uthi kungakhonakala ukuthi leyo nombolo iphothe yisebenziswa abanye abama-cellphone ingaba kubo.
Now, in the absence of those 205s, because we are trying to ascertain whether communication, because the purpose of, according to the analysis by Colonel Stein and the mandate to him, was to check whether or not there were communications intercede between the parties in the house and the parties in the house with the suspects. So in the absence of this, the picture then becomes incomplete because we don't have the 205s from the other service providers, for example.
Sorry, why do you say the picture becomes complete?
I'm saying incomplete.
This witness,
Yes,
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 reacts on affidavit.
yes.
After reading the affidavit, they say, give us section 205 of Ratamo Khwatleng.
Yes.
The number is, they don't even tell the number,
The
the name. They say
Yes.
the number is 12345. She doesn't have authority to go beyond that. Am I right? Actually, section 200. Is it 200?
With section 205 for the
No,
subpoenas.
no, no. Section 200 tells you what happens when information like this is requested, how you go about it.
No, I'm not saying she was supposed to go beyond, because she's saying the other numbers that I've listed may have been from other service providers. So hence I'm saying the picture is incomplete without those. I'm not saying she didn't do her job.
You may say that to Sebande, your colleague, but not to those witnesses. This witness, your mandate is circumscribed.
Yes.
And you said it was 3 numbers you're supposed to deal with concerning this matter.
Yes.
That's it. Otherwise, we're going to be here the whole year.
Kusho ukuthi yena ebesebenza njena ngesicelo lesi kwaqelwa ku-state ukuthi abheke ziphi iy'nombolo.
My Lord, I want to also raise an objection at this stage, because from what I understood when this question was raised yesterday, it was hypothesis. Is it now being stated as a fact that there was a communication between the people in the house as well as the suspect?
My Lord, I'm saying that was the evidence of Mr. Stein. So I'm premising my question. I'm not speaking about the truthfulness of whatever was raised by Mr. Mgomezulu regarding these questions, my Lord. And I'm over that because I've understood the evidence of the witnesses.
My Lord, again, I do not see where Colonel Stein said there was communication between the people in the house as well as the suspect from his evidence.
My Lord, we're speaking at cross purposes. What I'm saying is that the evidence of Colonel Stein was that his mandate from Colonel Beninda was to check various communications, that is, the parties in the house intercede, and whether those parties then communicated with, there would be suspects. I'm not saying he said there was communication between those parties.
Okay.
as the court pleases. Now, let us complete this picture, ma'am. Yesterday, I think that it's in limbo. There's a tower called Moleleki Tower, right? And according to Colonel Stein again, he said that tower serviced amongst the areas, because it's not one particular area, but one of the areas itself was the Basotho hostel, right? I'm not sure how we came to that conclusion, but that was his testimony. Now, the background for this question is the following. A witness came to court here, Mr. Zungu, and testified that on the day in question, he was with other people at the Basotho hostel where there was a song and dance and meat eating and the merry, including the 5 suspects before court. Now my question simply is this. It's the same exercise that we went through yesterday with the 816 number that is attributed to accused number 3. If you look on the date of the 26th of October 2014, is there a stage, any stage, where that 816 number registered any activity at the Moleleki Tower? So triple G1. So if you look at triple G1, 26th of October 2014.
So there's no specific time for the 26th?
Yes, if you just generally look, because the witness says, if I recall his evidence correctly, Mr. Zungu, he joined them around 2-3 in the afternoon at the hostel until they departed later at night.
So you want this witness to do what? This one?
To look at the 26th.
Why don't you put it to her? It would make sense to me.
Yes.
If you put it to her that Zungu says when he was at the hostel, at Basotho hostel, accused number 3 or 4 or 5 phoned. He was using the cell phone. Because that's the only way you can connect the evidence. Otherwise, this lady, I don't know how you're going to do it.
My Lord, I'm saying, with respect to 8169,
Phoning who? That's the point.
location of the tower itself.
Yes, but
Yes.
phoning who?
It could have phoned anyone, my Lord. What I'm interested in is not a particular person, it's the location of the tower.
My Lord, also want to raise an objection. Can the witness also be referred to the relevant passage in the evidence of Colonel Stein where he says the Moleleki Tower service the Basotho hostel?
You know what? I don't want to be said I'm interfering. Colonel Stein at some stage was asked, can you estimate the distance between the call which was made allegedly from a particular house? I don't know if it's Kelly's house or whatever, because they said that phone, you remember, the phone which was allegedly picked up or stolen or robbed, its track ended up to the hostel. You remember that evidence?
Yes.
Right. And Stein estimates that as 1.5 kilometers. Remember that. Now, listen, okay, it doesn't matter, but listening to this lady, common sense and logic tells you that she said the radius in build-up area is what? Of the towers?
In both areas, anything from 200
Yeah.
meters to 5 kilometers.
That's it. That's how I see the evidence and interpret it. Maybe I'm wrong. Fine.
I'm not sure, my Lord, we are on the same wavelength
Okay.
with the court. And with respect to, just to address my learned colleagues' objection, that is something, because I've got the record here, that is something that I'll go back to the record on and then talk to him. Now, let's speak about the crime scene itself, which is 13511 Kubano Street, Nzamo section, Spray View. Again, Colonel Spain stated that according to him, this address specifically is covered by the spread view and parquet towers. And then in your evidence, you said the distance from spread view tower to the crime scene is how many meters or kilometers?
I'm referring back to the map.
It's
From Spruit View to the crime scene.
okay.
So
If I refer you to exhibit page 7 in brackets category.
Yes. So on page 4 of the map, it says distances to crime scene. So the first entry is Spruit View to the address 13511 Kutlawong Street. It's 1.18 kilometers.
Uthi ukusukela la kwakuyenzeka khona isehlakalo ukusuka kule tower ikhele nge 1.18 kilometers.
And then similarly, the distance from parquet to the crime scene.
From Parquet to the crime scene, it's 2.2 kilometers.
Kanti mawusuka kule tower yaseyithiwa ikhaya 2.2 kilometers.
And now, in your expertise and given the evidence that you've given about the coverage area, the range of a tower, will both towers, in your opinion, serve the crime scene?
Yes, it's within the vicinity.
Ukuya ngaye omabili lamatawa ayakhona ukuthi afike kulapho akwenzeka khona lesi siyehlakalo.
Now, the final aspect that I would like to touch with you refers to Exhibit GD 5E Woman Figure 1. That will be the section 205 in respect of the number that ends with 24.
Okay, which page are we looking at?
So now, if I may take instructions. Thank you, Madam Minister. It will be for the number that ends with 8460. Do you have that in front of you? Exhibit DD 5E Roman figure 2.
This exhibit comprises of number 6890.
Yes. There's another one. The number is attributed and associated to accused number 2. the 8460. It was given to us as Exhibit DD5E, Roman figure 2.
I don't see that number on this exhibit. Number ending
8460.
Yes, 8460 is this small section
Yes, the
here.
small section. I just want you to go to just a few aspects on that one. The towers on the 17th of June 2020. We're starting at 08:52:07.
On the 17th of June at 08:52:07, the tower that was picked up was Hawaii Street.
Ukuthi le tower le bayibonile noma le tower le bayiphike up yi Hawaii le bayiphike up nge-17 zakaJune 2022.
And the transaction or the activity,
That activity was a call that was received from 081057786 to the number ending 8460, and that cell phone was on voicemail, which reflects a CF.
Ukuthi leyo ikhomba ukuthi kwakuyi inombolo lephelela nge-64890 kanti ithe mayishayela kuleye yathola leya iya ku-voicemail.
and then at 08:53 and 59 seconds,
The tower is the old Apostolic Church,
Itawa yi Old Apostolic Church
and the activity is 8460, still being on voicemail.
kanti yona le nombolo ye 8460 yaya ku-voicemail futhi.
And that was from the number 7786.
Inombolo le ye 7786.
and at two times at 09:37:07 and 10:08:34, which towers are picked there?
Foslera Square.
Leyo iphika pe yi-Post-confiscation Square.
And then the activity,
8460 remains on voicemail, and
I-8460 yiloku ku-voicemail nangaleso sikhathi.
at 9:37 a call came from 7786,
Kuyase kuvela ucingo leli laliqhamuka ku-7786.
and at 10:08 it was a number ending 1698.
Bese kwakuyi inombolo le beyishayela kwakuyi 1698 lephelela ngo-1698.
and then we go to 15:34:48.
That transaction was a empty SMS which was received by 8460. That tower reflecting is Ben Fullion.
Lena kwakuyi-SMS iqhamuka ku-8460 kuyinombolo ka-MTN.
Now, before you go further, just this transaction at 15:34:48, Colonel Stein testified that, and also Sergeant Mohale, that Belfast Street, it's a street closer to the Pretoria North SAPS, right? And then let's move, because I'll come back to this aspect when I summarize it together. At 19:40 and 22.
At 19:22, we pick up Pretoria North. And the transaction there was the number 8460 received a call from the number ending 7786, and that lasted 43 seconds.
leyo kwakuyinombolo le-8460 kanti yayiqhamuka ngase-Pretoria North ibanjwa ile-tower yase-Pretoria North.
Now, let me give you a bit of a background. The reason I'm focusing on this fewer transaction with the 8460 number, and then I'll want to also bring in together the 6890, is that my instructions from accused number 2, and it's been put to the witnesses, that he was arrested on the 16th of June 2020. And when he was arrested, the two police officers that arrested him, Sergeants Mohane and Mabena, confiscated 2 phones on him, right? And my instructions are this number, the 076-264-846 number, was on the smaller phone, the white phone that belongs to her sister, but it was in his possession. And the 6890 was in the Samsung Galaxy with the 6890 number together with another 073 number, because it was a dual SIM number. Now, if we look at these transactions, the 17/6/2020, firstly, on the 17th, accused number 2 was in custody in the Pretoria North police station. He was never booked out during that day. So when these transactions occurred, in line with your evidence that a transaction occurs when the phone is within the vicinity of a tower. So the user must have been within the vicinity of a tower for it to have a signal. The accused was never at Hawaii. We don't know where that is, but the Phosphorus is square, because we know that towers are named after locations sometimes. So he was never there. He was never booked out on the day. And then the importance thereof will come here. At 1940 and 22, the last transaction on the 17th, this phone registers at 3G Pretoria North NGA. And then if we go to Exhibit DDE, Roman figure 1, with respect to the 6890 number, we will see that at around the same time, maybe 1950-55, accused number 2 was still in Pretoria North, but the 6890 is still making activities, and we know for background purposes, I'm sorry for being long, that at the time, accused number 2 was being interrogated by the police at the boardroom, because we've got an entry, which is Exhibit NN from Pretoria North, and I'm going to read. It says, investigation back 1955, Sandiso Bongani Ntanzi, booked it back by Sergeant Mohane. So when these transactions were occurring, the phones were not with accused number 2. That's the gist of what I'm trying to put to you. Right?
Uthi yena naleso sikhathi kuyenzwa la macimo unumber 2 bengeka khona ukwenza ngoba ngaleso sikhathi bese-police station unamakhona ngoba ubusho umfana noMabena yena bengeka khona ukuthi akhona ukushaya ucingo ngaleso sikhathi ngoba usabuzwa imibuzo wamaphoyisa yena mayiphendula ngibona kunikina njena ikhaya.
Okay. Then let's move to the date with respect to 8460. Let's move to the date of the 18th of June 2020. Let's start at the time 11:10:45.
At 11:10,
My Lord, can I just jump in here? Can the witness also be given an opportunity to respond to what has been said? And furthermore, our version is that the phones were not confiscated at that stage, my lord. That's correct.
My lord, as I stated under host, I said data is data. I'm not going according to the version. I'm going according to the data here.
Which data is that?
The data of the phone 8460 that accused number 2 said it's his number, and the data of 6890. I'm not going according to any version.
Indeed, so, my lord, but can the witness comment on the activities as well, whether those were phone calls, whether the phone was on voicemail? Because the impression that is being created, it seems that the phone was on call or SMSs were being sent.
Sorry, according to the state version, those two cell phones allegedly taken by Mabena and his colleague, according to Mr. Ramsepedi, when were they actually taken?
From the accused.
From the state's version.
8th of February 2021.
8th of February.
That's correct.
And
The
were they
information
booked in? Were they booked in the SAP 13 register
That's correct.
on the 8th of June?
8th of February
Sorry.
2021.
8th of February.
That's correct.
Okay,
And
fine.
eventually they were taken to Middelburg for downloading and
Downloading.
further analysis. That's correct.
Yes, Mr. Ramsepedi, you are asking about the 16th, the 18th, the 17th. According to the state's versions, they say that phone was booked in apparently at Middelburg, is it?
Yes, at the TSU.
That's correct.
So,
My lord, we've got mutually destructive versions.
I hear you.
Yes. Theirs is that the phone was obtained by Mohani and Mabena, and only the one phone, the 6890, at Valeria Police Station on the 7th of February 2021. The version of accused number 2 and my instructions are that the phones were there and then on the 16th of June 2020. When he was arrested, Mabena and Mohani took the phones. Hence, my lord, the gist of what I'm showing the witness is that indeed, the following day, when accused number 2 is in Pretoria North Police Station, coincidentally, the 8460 registers an activity in Pretoria North, and similarly with the 6890 registers activities in the Pretoria North tower, my lord.
yeah, fine, you can go on.
Yes.
I was just wanting to refresh my memory about the version of the state.
Yes, that is the proper understanding, even from myself, my lord. Now let's go to the activity of the 18th of June 2020 with respect to the 8460 number.
On the 18th of June at 11:10:45, 8460 received an SMS, and the tower reflected there is West at Driefontein mine.
Yeah, before we proceed, because
Okay.
so
Isuke yathola i-SMS kanti ngaleso sikhathi ithola i-SMS le tower le beyithumela leyo SMS kwakuyithawa le yase Driefontein mine.
I just want to give you a bit of background with respect to these transactions. It is the evidence of Sergeant Mohani, and indeed accused number 2 has given me the same instructions that on the 18th of June, he was taken to Sibanye Stillwater mine. That is where he was employed at the time of his arrest for the police officer, Sergeant Mohani, Mabena, later joined by Colonel, he was Colonel by then, but now Brigadier Gininda, and Sergeant Muhola for investigative purposes. So if we see, and also Colonel Stein testified about this when he was speaking about the AVL record of the motor vehicle that transported accused number 2 to Sibanye mine. So if we see West Driefontein mines and East Driefontein, I'd assume those are the towers at the Sibanye mine, right? So just I interjected you. What was the transaction there at 11:10:45?
At 11:10:45, the number ending 8460 received an SMS.
Ukuthi leyo nomboro le iphelela nge-8460 ngaleso sikhathi yithole i-SMS.
And the tower location?
That was West Driefontein Mine.
Leyo tower le beyithumela le SMS kwakuyithower le yase West Driefontein Mine.
And let's go to the transaction of the time 11:39 and 58 seconds.
8460 was on voicemail at 11:39:58 seconds. The tower reflecting is East Driefontein, and the cell phone was on voicemail during that time.
Yona le nomboro ngaleso sikhathi yithola le SMS yase kule tower yase Driefontein yaya ku voicemail.
The time of 11:42:05.
8460 was still on voicemail.
Nangaleso sikhathi yona i-8460 yayisese ku voicemail.
East Driefontein was still the tower picked up.
Itower le beyithola leyo SMS kwa uyitower le yase West Driefontein Mine.
And then the time of 12:08:17.
During that time, 8460 was still on voicemail, and the tower picked up was West Driefontein Mine.
Nangaleso sikhathi i-8460 yayisese ku voicemail naleyo tower kwakusese yona le yase West Driefontein Mine.
And the times, let me put them together, 16:35 until 14:07, in fact, 14:30:52.
8460 remained on voicemail, and East Driefontein Mine, East Driefontein was the tower.
East Driefontein Mine Tower yona yayithumela ifuna ukuthintana le 8460 kodwa yayithola ukuthi yona leyo cell phone yisese ku voicemail.
Okay. And then let's go to the time of 19:03 and 20.
8460 remains on voicemail. The tower reflecting there is Furwood Park.
Nangaleso sikhathi yona le nomboro le phelela nge-8460 yayisese ku voicemail kodwa itower le beyithumela yayithintana nayo yitower yase Furwood Park.
Okay, we've already dealt with this earlier yesterday when I dealt with you that, and I gave you the background to say, upon return from the Sibanye Stillwater mines, the evidence of Sergeant Mohani was that they then went towards the Albertine site, accused number 2 in transit in the car that they were transporting him in, because they were doing certain investigation in Albertine. But importantly, this Furwood Park SGS tower is in Furwood Park, a township in Albertine, as we have seen. So those were the aspects that I wanted to take with you. My Lord, if I may approach case number 2.
Yes.
Please. As the court pleases, my lord, just one aspect, ma'am. Now, per the evidence, this phone, as the state's version, not our version, but Mohani says it was taken from accused number 2 from Valeria Police Station on the 7th of February 2021. I want you to go to the date that we talked about, which is from the 15th of March 2021, and tell me if that phone, whilst it's at the TSU in Middelburg, is still making transactions.
As we mentioned yesterday, I was supposed to have gotten that case ID with
Yes.
the relevant information,
Yeah.
and I didn't receive it.
No. There's a bit. Remember, the bit that I wanted was from the 3rd of March, because the record ends on the 2nd of February 2021. But that one, let's put it aside until you get the case ID and the relevant information from my colleague. I'm taking you about the bit now that does exist there after the phone was confiscated by the police. I think the date will be the 15th of March 2021.
This data, the 15th of March. This data only goes up until the 12th of February.
12th of February.
So we would require
Yeah, okay, we will
other case
revisit, then we will
ID.
revisit that again, as the court pleases.
Uthi njengoba bebeka ukuthi makabuke ngeyi-15 zakaMarch ukuthi lena ayifiki la iphelela ngeyi-7 zakaFebruary nge-minimum le ethe kuyekala.
Sorry, that data, which you say ends on the 12th.
Yes, my lord. This is on page
Yeah.
1 of 2, on case ID 103-1246.
And you say you don't have that,
It's not attached to here.
but were you instructed to actually get that data in terms of the affidavit?
I do have that data available, but it's not printed here.
It's not in your computer.
It is.
Where's your computer? Yeah, look at it.
Okay. And it's fine if you don't have a copy, my lord?
Yeah, because you call council to go there
Okay.
and have a look at the computer. Or you can take the computer to council.
Okay. Can I project it?
Yes.
Okay, let me look for the data first. Can we have the screen on, please?
Mrs. Rande, screen.
are looking at the 15th of,
Yes, I just want, and it's a general question, because like I'm saying, we now know, according to the version of the state, that the phone was taken from accused number 2 on the 7th of February 2021. And there's that lacuna where you say the evidence you're still going to have to look into the case ID. But I want to know, after the 7th of February, based on this data here, are there any other activities? Because now this phone is with the TSU in Middleburg.
okay, so on the printed version, it ends at 12th of March, and it reflects an undefined tower. Once we look at the screen, the data then continues from the 2nd of March 2021, and we pick up Mtogoda Tower.
uthi mayibuka lana njengoba isukela ngethuka kaMarch mayibuka ithawa le itholayo yimdovoda tower.
Okay. And do you know what the activities were there for the phone to pick up the tower?
Yes, these are USSD interactions, which means it's the star 140 or star 120 hash. It's an interactive application that you do on your handset itself.
Okay.
Kanti ukuya ngale mininingwane ibonisa ukuthi le cellphone isebenzise njena ukuthi isebenze nge-USSD ile kuthi mawuyigxova le cellphone yakho bese wenza u-star bese ufaka leyo nto oyifunayo bese yenza USSD.
And then beneath that, I see there's a call forward, but unfortunately I'm too far.
Yes, it is a call forwarding, which means 8460 was on voicemail from 1959 right until 1837.
Kwaba khona ucingo leli lalifanele lishayele le nombolo kodwa nangaleso sikhathi lelo cingo alizange likhone ukungena ukuthi ithole ukuthi leyo cellphone isabhalile.
And after, so sorry ma'am, after the USSD entries that I see, the 4 below there, there's another call forward, there's something that I cannot decipher, and there's MTSMM, mobile terminating text messages, SMSs. Can you put at least the MTSMs into record now?
Yes, on the 16th of March at 12:06:48, number ending 8460 received an SMS.
Ngeyi 16 kaMarch yona le nombolo le lela nge-8460 yathola i-SMS
From the number 087-537-0953, and the tower reflecting here is Kilmoon.
yase ithola leyo ithawa lebe ithumela kwakuthi igama layo leyo thawa iKelmo.
I want to jump in here and object. This number ending with 8460, is it the number that was confiscated with the cell phone at Valeria, or is the number ending with 6890 that was confiscated at Valeria?
Okay. Yeah, my lord, let me withdraw those questions. My mind is at cross purposes because this is in respect of the 846 number. So the number that we're still waiting for the data from the 2nd of March onwards.
She's got it there, please. It's in the computer, she says. Everything which you say.
No, the one for the...
Wait. The data you're saying you are waiting for it from
Yes.
your colleague, Mr. Sebanda. The witness says she has it in her computer.
Okay, let me ask
So
her.
why should we wait
No, let me
for the
ask
hard
her.
copy when we've got it here?
Let me ask her, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am. I see. I've taken you out of the number because this pertains to 8460. I want the data for 6890 from the 2nd of February to after the period when the phone was taken, that is the 7th, the 8th when it was taken to TSU in Middleburg. Do you have that on your laptop as well?
The number ending 6890.
Remember, on Exhibit DD5E, Roman figure 1, it ends on the 2nd of February 2021. But with the version of the state that the phone was taken from 7 February from accused number 2 at Valeria, and then on the 8th is transferred to TSU for analysis and downloading. So that's the data I'm interested in.
Okay, just bear with me. It is a few cases to go through. I just want to show you the previous case. So this is for the same number.
Yes.
I'm not sure if you can see. It's 6890.
Yes, I said you should.
So it shows 6890,
Yeah.
and then this data starts from the 1st of September 2020. I'm hovering over here, right? If we go to the end of this, we in November. So on this set of data, it ends round about November. If you can see my mouse hovering here, 29th November.
29th November.
Yes. And then as we move on to the next date, we then only see data from the 15th of March 2021, which I have indicated previously. So from the period, I would say sometime in December, right until early March,
No activity.
we don't have any activity.
Kusukela lapho mase eyibheka lana akuzange kube khona okuthize lokukwenzekayo emveni kwalokho.
Ma'am, now I'm a bit confused. Remember when we were dealing with, and when you were led on the transactions at Queenswood, most of those transactions relate to December 2020. So it doesn't end with 29 November. But importantly, this is the data, the 15th of March onwards. It was my question that after the phone was allegedly confiscated by the police, does it make transactions whilst it's in the hands of, I don't know what they are called in TSU in Middleburg, whether they are specialists, they are experts, but in the hands of the police because they are law enforcement agents.
Okay, we can make absolutely sure. I just went to the last page with transactions, so it could be sometime in December. But if we look at 2021,
Yes.
this is where the transactions start from.
But my gist and my question is, transactions are made on the 15th or from the 15th of March,
Yes.
on the very same 6890, whilst it is, we know, in the hands of TSU in Middleburg. That was my question.
Well, as we can see, data is from the 15th of
That's the
March.
court basis, my lord. That's what
Ukuthi
I'm
kungabe uyayibuka lana ukuya ngale ndlela engakhona noma la ma-cellphone amaphoyisa bese bawathathile akulaba abawafunyayo ama-tips kodwa wona i-cellphone yabonisa lana ukuthi iphelele ne-15 abamasi.
Yes, Mr. Nisi.
As it is the court, my lord, I realize it's almost 20 past 11. I'm not so sure whether we need to proceed or it's just an opportune time to take a short break.
Yeah, okay, let's break, continue.
As it is the court.